Bit of an update on the whole get woke, go broke. It's bit of a follow-up to the hashtag learn to code that was going around a few days ago. So Vice Media is laying off 10% of its workforce. Who did not see this coming? Please let me know. The axe is swinging at Vice Media. The Brooklyn-based news outfit is set to slash 10% of its workforce, or about 250 jobs. Hashtag learn to code. The latest in the wave of layoffs that hit a new generation of media companies, including BuzzFeed and Huffington Post. That is not actually accurate. Hey Leah, how are you? Greetings from Mississippi. Hello. It's not actually just media companies. It's mostly left-wing media companies. So, yeah, they don't want to go distinguishing those two. But the fact is that this is mostly affecting the left-wing media. And the right-wing actually seems to be flourishing. But anyway, the fresh carnage of Vice was announced Friday by Chief Executive Nancy DeBuck, a former A&E chief who brought in last March and reports of a fat house culture and a company under its co-founder, larger-than-life ex-CEO Shane Smith. Yeah, a lot of these companies were relying on investments to keep floating and to keep growing, which is always a bad idea. That part is true. But they've also seen a lot of drop-offs too when it comes to their views. Facebook has gone through and changed their algorithm that basically is screwing over all of alternative media. It's not just, people like me or the right wing or whatnot. It's everybody in alternative media that's getting affected. Funny how that seems to affect everybody. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's funny because these leftists were always ones arguing for censorship and arguing for, Facebook to change their algorithm to censor InfoWars, and all of a sudden they're now crying poor because, well, they changed their algorithm, and it's basically censoring all of alt media. This to me is literally the establishment trying to curb alt media, because at the end of the day they are worried about how popular we are compared to mainstream media, and trust in the news is at an all-time low. I don't blame anybody for not tuning in into mainstream media anymore. Like literally some guy in his study, according to my subscribers, by the way, not me, can, quote, do a better job of the media. I've literally had people write in my comment section, oh my god, a red panda is doing a better job than mainstream media right now. Like, yeah, and that's not me boasting or anything like that, and I do appreciate all the comments and feedback, guys. But they are right. People like, for example, Mark Dice or Phil DeFranco to a certain point, or whoever it may be. These alternative media personalities do a better job when it comes to telling news. So yeah, I'm not surprised that these sort of large corporations that were overinflated, relying hugely on investors, were relying hugely on the algorithm that suddenly changed because of their censorship, and all that is now in deep trouble. Not to mention the fact that they're losing ad revenue because nobody wants to tune in. Who wants to tune in to watch fake news from BuzzFeed? You go to BuzzFeed, it's all Russia, 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 and then a week later it's a retraction after retraction after retraction. So yeah, I'm not surprised. But anyway, Smith under pressure last spring over a slew of complaints about sexual misconduct at the millennial news outlet. Imagine my shock. Relinquished the reins so that Dubin, I'm mispronouncing that name, could come in and clean up Vice's culture and lavish spending in order to bring it into profitability. All Vice departments are expected to have layoffs as the company eyes redundancies overseas and focuses on growth businesses, including producing commercial spots on TV and the web for corporate clients. Having finalized the 2019 budget, our focus shifts to executing our goal and hitting our mark, Dubek wrote in a memo sent to the staff on Friday morning. We will make Vice the best manifestation of itself and cement its place long into the future. Vice will no longer divvy up its business country by country, instead organising it according to large regions and business lines. The bloodbath isn't surprising. Under Smith, Vice had expanded internationally at a fast clip with offices in far-flung destinations like Serbia, Australia, Austria, Denmark, Mexico, Romania and the UK. At one time, Vice had been seen as the hottest media company in the US with a 5.7 billion valuation, which to me is extremely overvalued, but regardless. But in 2017, Vice missed its revenue target of 850 million by more than 100 million, and the company is still not profitable. Dubak said last fall that she expects Vice to be profitable within the financial year, thanks to her cutting cost efforts. Changes at Vice came amid a reckoning on the online media publishers in recent years have been pumped up with billions of venture capital and traditional media outlets, which is true. This week, BuzzFeed laid off 15% of its staff at around 250 jobs. Separately, Verizon slashed 800 jobs from its media-owned units. It owns AOL, Huffington Post, and Yahoo. And I think there was also another company that got laid off as well. Had layoffs as well. Can't remember who now. But yeah, obviously, look, at the end of the day, like I say, it's funny how all these media companies they're mentioning are extremely left-wing. They've all been, putting out fake news, and all of a sudden they're having to do layoffs. So yeah, I think it's a combination of factors. I don't think it's just one thing or the other. But yeah, them obviously being overfloated obviously definitely does help the situation when it comes to them wanting to cut costs. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below.